Hello, my name is Chari Konomi.
My name is Jeff Stone. Welcome back to another episode of ChatGBC.
This week we have February 5th, Candygram sales begins outside of Student Affairs. On the 6th, Black Love and Literacy Night. On February 7th, Paint-A-Palooza. 8th is Student Organization's President's Meeting at 3 p.m. at Student Affairs. February 9th, Lunar New Year celebration, 1 p.m. at outside Student Affairs. And on the 8th, we have, on the 9th maybe? At some point, we have a basketball game against Caldwell. 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. for men and women respectively. Yes, that's what's going on this week.
That's awesome.
And our guest.
Yeah, today we have the first guest on the ChatGBC podcast.
Micah White, my friend.
That is right.
Micah, a student athlete, an RA, an English major, and the president of the newly formed BSU, Black Student Union on campus. Welcome.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, really happy to have you here. You're the first guest.
Making a statement.
Yeah. So tell us first, how did you get to GBC?
So how I got here was, I think, very similar to a lot of athletes on campus. So I was recruited to come here by the former coach that used to work for cross country, used to be the coach for cross country and track. And he recruited me, and I remember it was kind of weird. So I was sending out emails. As a high schooler, I was sending out emails to a bunch of coaches, Division II, Division III, Division I. And I ended up stumbling across Goldey-Beacom. And it's actually funny because the little banner you guys have in the back, like I think it's like a pennant or something? Mm-hmm. Like the triangle flag type of thing. Mm-hmm. I saw one of those on one of my high school teachers' door, and I saw it, and I was like, that's a weird name. Like, that's a weird name for a school. I've never seen that before, so I was like, I don't know where he got his bachelor's from, but it looked interesting. So when I was doing my research online for Division II schools, I saw Goldey-Beacom. I saw that they had a cross-country team, and they had a newly formed track team. So I decided to reach out to the coach. He ended up getting back to me. I took a visit down here, and when I took a visit down here, there was nothing that's here on campus, really. They were rebuilding. I know you guys were here, but at that point, I think it was 2019 when I took my first visit. There was no what's the name of the new hall? Franta? It was no Franta Hall. It was nothing like that. The dining hall was under construction. When I got here, it was like a bunch of painting supplies everywhere. It was no tables, nothing. And He was just showing me around the school. He was like, yeah, so this is what's going to be here. We're going to have a dining hall. He was like, before they decided to build a dining hall, you guys had like a market or something where like it was like sandwiches?
Yeah. I used to get the presidential patty melt. $5.99. It was so good.
Did it come with fries at least?
Yes,
dude.
yes.
The fries,
yes.
And a drink for $6.
Yeah, the deals weren't bad. It was good. Good times.
I was going to say.
And for an extra $1, you get soda.
We have a few staff members still here that both ran the Lightning Cafe. One is Renee. She works in admissions, and then Perry, who you meet sometimes when you enter in Fulmer. She's there.
Oh, at the front desk.
Yeah, so they both were like they ran the cafe together.
Those prices are good though. I mean, like $6 for a patty melt and fries, and you add an extra $1 for soda. Like, I wish they had that now. Sometimes I go in there and I'm like scanning my card. I gotta start rationing my meal swipes because you only get like $150 for the semester.
Yeah. Listen, don't quote us on all of it included, but I do remember you could get for like that amount at least the wrap and fries, you know. But yeah, so you took the tour at GBC, and what kind of was like the thing that made you want to come here?
So to be honest, when I got here, I was like, this campus is very small. It kind of looked like a parking lot. And I was sitting there with my parents. We get out the car. My dad's like, are we in the right place? I'm like, yeah, this is the address. My coach comes out. He's waving and smiling and all that. He was a very energetic guy. So he comes out, he's waving and smiling, and we come in, and he's like giving us a tour of the school, and then he's breaking down what the classroom sizes are like. So he said the classroom sizes are very small, especially for my major because I'm an English major. So the classroom sizes, I think he said, were like 8 to 15 people, and that was something I was more comfortable with because coming from a big high school, my high school was like 2,000 kids.
Whoa!
So that's, I think, like double the amount that's on Goldey-Beacom
Probably.
campus. We're growing every day, but back then I think it was like double, especially because we were coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's what really got me, just the small campus environment and seeing the attention to detail that everybody had here. Even though I was on the tour, like it was people that we were seeing that weren't even with the track group, that they weren't even coaches or anything like that, but they were greeting me and treating me as if they really wanted me here and they knew nothing about me. So I really enjoyed that. And then also like seeing the apartment style housing compared to other dorms and other buildings, well, not in other campuses. I thought that was really cool because you got your own cooking area, and I like to cook sometimes. I'm a bit lazy, but you get your own cooking area, and then you also get like a bedroom, and they switched over because I think it was like 3 or 4 to a room, but now, back then, after COVID, it was 2, so I was completely fine with that. So
Dude,
it was basically like apartment style
It
living.
used to be 5 or 6.
Trust me.
To those apartments. Yeah.
That's crazy. During my tour, actually, it was 4 people in the room.
Yeah.
My overnight stay, it was
Wow.
4. It was 5 of us in the room at that point.
Wow.
Because I was in the room too, and I was like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's just kind of crazy. I don't know how people do that.
I used to live in a bedroom with a bedroom with 2 other guys. You know,
That's when they had the bunk beds too.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have the little. You could stack the beds.
Yeah, exactly.
But now it's only 2 in each room. But back then, when I took the tour, it was 1 that had a bunk bed and 1 that was just a bed by itself.
Yeah, we had that. So we had to, me and Josiah moved one of the, because I was on the top bed, he was on the low bed. We moved that one and put it over there, and that's where, so we kind of, because we couldn't do the bunk beds anymore. We were like, we're not 5.
That's like, it's crazy though, because like I have a fear of bunk beds, because when I was younger, I used to always have this little ladder for my bunk bed because I have a twin brother, so we stayed in the same room, and I slept on the top bunk, he slept on the bottom bunk, and one time I woke up and I almost rolled off the bed. I'm a wild sleeper. So I woke up and I was like this, like hanging off of the bed. And I was looking around and I had to be like 7 or 8 years old. And I'm just like, man, I can't do bunk beds anymore.
Yeah.
So after that, I kind of gave up on bunk beds. So I was so happy when they said it's 2 to a room. So I was like, I can't do bunk beds.
Yeah.
Not on the top bunk.
That's funny. So one of the questions I want to ask you, this is just for us, but so when you came to GBC, you know, you saw what you saw. But what about when you searched it on the internet?
Ooh, when I searched it on the internet, not much came up. I'm gonna be completely honest. I was trying to find track videos because a lot of other schools had track recruitment videos, and they would go through like kind of like a day in a life type of deal. When I looked up Goldey-Beacom, there was like 8 to 10-year-old videos. It was stuff from all the way back in 2010, 11ish. And I was watching it, and you can just see how old it is based on the type of clothes people had on. And I really didn't get a feel back then for how the school actually was. So I don't think that it was accurately represented online, especially on YouTube. And then the website too. Like it was a bit hard to navigate back then. It's a lot better now. I really like the new website, by the way. I know that they just updated that recently, but back then the website was a bit hard to navigate. And I was trying to like show my parents, this is the school I want to go to, blah, 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 blah. But based on what I seen online, I just don't think it was, it could have been a little bit better with the representation part.
Yeah. I wonder now if you looked it up now.
I mean, if you look it up now, it's a lot more stuff that comes up,
Yeah.
especially with the podcast that you guys are doing now, you and Chari. And then there's a lot more interaction with social media on the Instagram pages. I don't have Facebook, but I've seen that there's a lot more interaction on Facebook pages. And then also like the new website, and just like the college is constantly expanding.
Yeah.
And people are always doing new things here, and with the new freshman classes, everyone's getting more involved. So I think that is definitely growing a lot more from when I originally came here to now that I'm about to depart.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those are really good things. And another thing, you know, we want to get into all the things that you do here, but specifically, can you tell us about the Black Student Union and, you know, how you got started with that, how things are going, and yeah, what you guys have going on?
Yeah. So right now I'm the president of the Black Student Union. We started it up back in August 2023. So I walked into the office one day and I was speaking to Tat. She is the head of student engagement. So I was speaking to Tatiana, and she was telling me, hey, what do you think about the Black Student Union? I was like, I was in the Black Student Union in high school. I really enjoyed my time doing it in high school. Even if it was only for my senior year, I really enjoyed it. And she said, what do you think about starting it back up. I was like, starting it back up. I was like, did we have a Black Student Union beforehand? And she said, yeah, we did, but after COVID, things kind of fell apart, and like the club situation wasn't the greatest for any clubs, not just the Black Student Union, because on campus, like throughout my years, I haven't really seen too many clubs start coming to fruition until now. So yeah, she asked me, did I have enough time to run it? Did I want to run it? And I said, yeah, I definitely would love to. I think that that's something that the college could benefit from. So early on, it was very hard to get people to come to the meetings. Really, it was just my friends. I have a lot of support from my friends, and I had a lot of support from staff. So that's really how it got started. It was about 5 or 6 of us in the room, and I'm going around. I didn't even have my slides right. It was really, like, I felt really rushed. I had like 3 slides, and I'm just trying to make it work with 3 slides. I have a title slide, and then I have basically what the Black Student Union means, and like what ideas I want to see us do. And it was really cool just because it was super grassroots. So everybody that showed up is a part of the board now, or most of the people that showed up the first day is a part of the board now. And from the first day, like, I just saw a lot of people put a lot of support into it. And yeah, that's how it got started. It got started with a couple people in the room, and we just decided we wanted to go from there. And now we've done a couple of events. We had a really successful event, our Black Student Union Interest Night, which Seb actually took a video for us up on our Instagram page at BSU Bolts. Shameless plug.
Of course. We love that.
But yeah, it's up on there, and we had a lot of people actually show up. And I think that just like campus interaction, that's what keeps people here. And having a club like that, and other clubs as well, but having a club like ours is just it's something so great for the community, because you can see people actually feel comfortable speaking about what they want to say, and comfortable voicing their opinions, and just feeling like they can be and live in a free environment. So that's really the environment we want to cultivate within the Black Student Union.
Yeah, that's incredible. You've done an incredible job.
Thank you.
I'm sure Hari has seen you guys out there. Like,
yeah. I mean, I was at one of your meetings.
Yes.
Which was really cool to be part of. But I know you guys have a lot of events planned.
We do. Yeah.
Black's Soul Food.
Disclaimer: I'm not gonna lie. We had to reschedule the Soul Food Night, so that's gonna be the 16th now.
Okay, perfect.
So
perfect timing then.
Exactly.
It's all for the best.
So
look at that.
everything that we're gonna be talking about now is coming up. I don't know when this episode is going to drop, but I know that our first event for the month, for Black History Month, is going to be our Black Love and Literacy Night, and that's basically an open mic night. So we're going to be doing spoken word, we're going to be doing poetry, and it's all going to be focused on answering the question, what is love? So what does love mean to you? That can be self-love, that can be like love in a relationship, whether that be familial or a relationship with a partner. So we just want to explore that and see what people on campus are thinking about that, especially with Valentine's Day coming up. So that's going to be a really fun event. And I'm an English major, so I have fun playing it. So hopefully we get a good turnout, which I think we will. A lot of staff will come out, a lot of students will come out. So
are we going to hear some of your stuff?
Yes, you will. You will. I haven't done spoken word in a little bit. So I did it I did it twice. I did it a little bit back in high school. And then also when I got to Goldey-Beacom, when I was taking creative writing, we did a poetry reading, but it's a little bit different than spoken word. Spoken word, you actually gotta, you got the movements and you gotta remember everything. But it's gonna be really fun, and I'm actually very excited to share some of my stuff since I don't share it too often. So it should be really cool.
When you say open mic, does it mean that like people have to sign up, or it's just anybody who can?
So I want to have a couple people sign up, so we at least have a list of main performers. And then after that, after they perform, anyone is welcome to go up and present, because I know it's a bit scary to get up on stage and sign up and do all that. And a lot of people like to do things a little bit off the cuff, and that's what I like to do as well. So I want to leave a space for people who show up and get inspired, and they want to go up and share their works because of what they see other people do.
No, absolutely. And so getting into like your experience as an English major, so tell me about like what from GBC, like the English program, and how has that kind of blended in with who you are and as well like with your art and your work?
Yeah, so I say the English program has been really great to me. I've had a lot of great professors, even my advisors. They've helped me a lot with setting up the classes that I want to take and the classes that I need to take. So me and the English program, it's kind of a love-hate sometimes, just because The only thing I hate about it is that it's so small. But that's also what I love about it. So in my class, as far as English majors on campus, I don't think there's more than 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're a very, very small major on campus, which makes sense. Like Goldey-Beacom is a business college primarily, so it made sense when I was coming here. I said I was going to be an English major, and people were like, well, that's a business school. I was like, I'm an English major. You can learn English anywhere. That's what I was thinking. So I got here, and the staff was really, really cool, and they're very, very intelligent, and they really do love the art and the craft itself. So I remember one of my first teachers was Dr. Willing. And Dr. Willing, she's an amazing teacher. I know Chari. You stopped into my class a couple times, and you know her as well. She's like a really, really great, and she helped me a lot understand how I want to write and what direction I want to go towards. So she helped me a lot, especially in her class, literary theory, I think it was called. Literary criticism.
Mm-hmm.
So in that class, she really helped me develop how I look at text and how I analyze it, and then how I can bring that into my own works.
Yeah.
So her, and then also just like the English staff in general. So I had Dr. Bradley, I had Dr. Hunt, I had Dr. Rivers.
Big shout out Dr. Rivers.
Yeah, Dr. Rivers. Yeah, I love Dr. Rivers. I had him for research writing 1 and 2. And then there's a couple other people. I don't really want to forget anybody, but sorry if I forgot someone's name.
No.
But the English department has been super, super supportive. Anytime I bring them anything, especially like my poetry and spoken word, if I bring them something, they read it and they give me feedback. And that's something that you really don't get at bigger schools. And that's what I really like about Goldey-Beacom, just because I have such a close relationship with my professors. I can email them and go see them in person, and I can just have a conversation with them. But sometimes when you're at bigger schools and you have a class full of like 150 people, you don't have that time to go sit with your professor because he's like, well, I'm on my way to my next seminar, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has their own lives, but at Goldey-Beacom, like most of the people are on campus, so I can talk to them. And I feel comfortable talking to them. So that's what I love about the English program.
Yeah, and they know what you're involved in too. So
Exactly.
I remember I have a specific story with Mary that she'll laugh at hearing this again. When I was a student, like I think it was my senior year, I had this paper due. We have to do schoolwork if you're gonna go to college.
Sometimes.
Sometimes we forget, but you're still here for academics.
Yeah, simultaneously we were working on the Veterans of the Summit book. Like we were, collecting these stories, and we were turning these like audio files into written like pages, and then we were turning those into like stories, and then as well with the collection of the photographs of the times that students interviewed with them. And so like my whole March and April was taken up by that because I was trying to finish that project before, like we left. And she, like, we had a paper due, and she was like, I just didn't get it done in time. And she was like, well, I see how active and involved you are, in campus and things like that. So I'm going to give you, an extension. So I got, and so it made me feel like, not only are like they trying to, keep me on track in school, or in class, but also they recognized how much the things that you're doing outside impact as well.
And they really care. Like I say from my experience, my professors really care. Especially, I also want to shout out Dr. Davy. Dr. Davy has been great. I talk to her a lot. She's an adjunct professor, so she's not here as often as some of the other full-time staff members, but she's been great to me as well. I had her for one class only, but I also did first year experience with her for the first semester, and she's just like an amazing person. She's helped me develop my writing as well, and then she's also helped me just kind of like think outside the box, because a lot of her ideas, like I'll be sitting in class, and you ever just sit in class and you just wondering like, what is my professor talking about? Like I'll just be sitting there, and she's just going off, like she's like scribbling on the board. It looks like Albert Einstein when he's like trying to figure out the theory and stuff. So she's like sitting there scribbling on the board. She's like, yeah, this goes with this. So then I had this idea. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, huh. That's what it looks like with somebody that actually love what they're doing. Yeah. So she's sitting there scribbling on the board for like 10 minutes, and then she looks back at us and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent. You guys understand what I'm saying? I'm like, no, not at all. But I just love the fact that, she took so much, she takes so much care of her work and so much pride in it. And she's just so open to love her job and love what she does and loves teaching. So I that's like one of the things that I definitely remember about her. And all my teachers, like, they love their job. So well, from what I've seen, sometimes you don't want to be here. But I mean, end of the day, it's all love. So I really enjoy being in their classes and being able to learn from them.
Yeah. And so you live on campus as well, right?
Correct, I do.
Yeah. So, and have you lived on campus your whole time?
I have. I've been in Leech for 4 years.
Oh,
4 years. And y'all know
way.
what Leech looks like. Leech,
Yes.
I came in here as a freshman, and we were living in Leech dorms, and it was during COVID. So it wasn't a whole lot of interaction or anything. But one thing I can say about Leech is the fire alarms. Even as a resident assistant now, like I'm a little more in the know about things that are going on. But the fire alarms continue to happen, and we're not even a freshman dorm anymore. So it's like, I just don't understand. Like, I don't know if it's like the system or the people or a mixture of both. But I'll be sleeping and I'll wake up. Like one time I was sleeping during my freshman year. I was asleep and I kept hearing like this chirping in my ear, and I thought it was like a bird like in my dreams. So I'm like sitting there, like this chirping, and then I'm slowly waking up and I'm hearing like this blaring in my ear, and it's the fire alarms, and I get up and run out, and I was so like shocked that it happened. Like I got up and I forgot to grab my shirt, and it was in the middle of winter, so it was like February, like now, kind of like now, but it was way colder back then. So I got up and I ran out my room with no shirt, and I'm looking around and I'm just like, I'm like, it's cold outside. And then my roommate's like, he's like, where's your shirt at? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I don't have a shirt on. I'm looking down and then I realized I don't have a shirt on. I'm trying to get back inside, but I can't. So that was fun. Interesting experience. I've had a lot of interesting experiences in Leech. I love Leech. But,
Shout out Leech Hall.
Man, yeah. Shout out Leech. Those who know about Leech and the fire alarms. They know about Leech and the fire alarms.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's amazing. That's so funny. Yeah, the legend of the Leech fire alarms lives on, definitely.
Continually.
Yeah, it's so funny because just a quick tidbit to that. Like, we were photographing a wedding at a banquet hall next to the fire department on Kirkwood, I think. And I remember going in there because like the groom wanted photos with the fire trucks, and we saw the chief in there, and I told him like, yeah, I work at Goldey-Beacom, and he's like, what is up with y'all? I was like, he's like, all the time we have to roll over there to see what's going on, and it turns out it's just like that's hilarious. But so to your 4 years, like you said, this is your senior, so you're graduating this May.
Yes.
So tell us like a little bit about like what it's been like to live on campus, these 4 years, and like, the friendships you've made, the benefit of that, like, yeah, just how has that been for you?
So when I first moved on campus, again, it was during COVID, so we had masks on. I didn't really know a lot of people, and it was very hard when I first got on campus because I was far away from not that far away. I live in New Jersey, so my parents are about 2 hours away from me, but I didn't have my car at the time, so there was no way I could get home. And we were here. It was during COVID, and it was very hard for me to interact with people. I'm not really that open of a person, especially when I'm in a new environment. So it was very difficult for me to open up and try and talk to people. So really the only people I was talking to were my teammates. And I didn't really get to see them as much again just because of the whole restrictions from COVID and everything that was with that. So being on campus was very weird. I was in my room a lot, and it was very dreary during my first year, and I didn't really enjoy it at all, if I'm gonna be honest. Like I was kind of ready to go back home and like live at home and kind of do most of my classes from home. But I got encouraged to come back by my coach. He said, listen, it's gonna be different. COVID is they're gonna take back some of the restrictions, and we're gonna be able to do the things that we really want to do on campus. So after that, I kind of started getting a little bit more involved on campus. But my first 3 years, I really wasn't involved as much on campus, to be honest. It was definitely a family environment on campus, but I really didn't want to be involved as much. I kind of like when I left home and I said, you know what, I just want to come to Goldey-Beacom, get my degree, and get out. That was my original plan. As you can see now, that's not the case. So originally I wanted to come here, get my degree, and just go back home. But then my junior year, I started getting more involved. I started off volunteering at Skyline down the street. Wonderful people over there, Miss Bulla, her class, and the AVID program, and just everybody over there has been great with welcoming me in and allowing me to work within the school system and things like that, and just having those connections there. But I got more involved my junior year, And then I became a peer mentor my junior year as well. And I applied to become a resident assistant. So everything just started happening all at once. So I went from not being involved at all, which I think was the reason why my experience was like that. Like, I didn't have that great of an experience because Goldey-Beacom is the type of campus where if you're not involved, you're not gonna want to be here. I'm gonna be honest. Like, if you don't really want to make connections with anybody and you kind of just want to stay to yourself, you're gonna find yourself in a position where you don't really like it on campus. But if you do open yourself up and you do start seeking other people and you do start trying to make those connections, I mean, a lot of people here are they're kind and they make sure that you're good and they really do care about you. So that's what I learned when I started opening up and I started going to things and I started being more involved on campus. So that kind of just like propelled me here to this position now where I'm very involved on campus and that has bettered my experience because I love it here. It's kind of hard to say that I got to leave in the next couple months, but I definitely have enjoyed my time thus far and especially this year. Like, I'm doing a lot, but it really makes a difference just seeing that everybody else is enjoying it and seeing that I can be an addition to the campus, like on campus life. 'Cause I know you guys do a lot too. Like, this one thing about Goldey-Beacom is I feel like everyone has like 3 or 4 jobs, and it's not like one person for this. Like, Hari, like you may have been known for soccer and Stone, you might be known for like your videography, but you do a lot. You do a lot of other jobs that people will see and be like, hey, weren't you just doing that? Like, yeah, like we have like a lot of people at Goldey-Beacom have multiple titles to their name. So that's one thing I learned, and I never thought about that until I got into positions, and then people were like, hey, like, well, you're doing this, can you do this? And I'm like, okay, cool, I could do that, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But that's really cool, and I've enjoyed my experience thus far. So I've changed from my freshman year not talking as much to being a little more open and on campus, and that has definitely been great for my experience at Goldey-Beacom.
Yeah. I have a question I want to ask him, but did you want to say anything?
No.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. You just gave me a glance. I was like, I want to give you the shot. I don't want to ask all the questions, but you're killing it. So you're graduating in May. What do you feel like? It's a 2-part question. Mm-hmm. One, I guess we'll start with this one. What are you going to miss the most about being here?
I say just the grassroots environment. And when I say grassroots, that means that when you do something at Goldey-Beacom, for the most part, it hasn't been done before. I'm going to be honest. So especially like starting a club with the Black Student Union, I'm going to miss them a lot. Not that I won't be in contact with them, but it's going to be different from when you're living on campus and involved and you go to the school compared to when you're kind of more of an outsider because you're not on campus and you're not directly involved with the club. So I'm going to miss them a lot. I'm going to miss my board members. I'm going to miss my friends. But I just say, just the grassroots environment, just because when you create something here, you create it. Like, it's something that you do. And a lot of the times you will have support and you will have people who definitely help you along the way, but a lot it's going to be on you. If you want to see something at Goldey-Beacom, you got to do it yourself. Yeah. And that's one thing I love about it, because a lot of other schools, like, they either have it or they're not going to let you do it. They'll be like, hey, nah, you can't do this, blah, blah, blah. Goldey-Beacom, sometimes they'll say, yeah, you can't do this, but then you talk to somebody else and they'll be like, oh, nah, you can do it, let's push it through. And then, like, you just got to know the right people to talk to.
I got to tell my story then. I was telling this before we started recording, but when I was a student starting Lightning Studio, trying to get things off the ground with Lorenzo and things, and we wanted to host, like, I think we were trying to do like the Lightning Bash, or we were trying to do like, movie screenings, and I would go into, I'm really sorry for this if she ever sees it, she probably hates me so much, but Jennifer Ruggiero is who Tatiana used to be the graduate assistant for, and I'd go into her office and I'd be like, hey, can we get some money for this, and this, and she'd be like, no, I don't know. And I like to move quick. So I just walked right out of her office, right into Chuck's, and was like, hey, can we get like, money for the pizzas or money for this? And he'd be like, yeah, let us know. So it was always like that. But your answer was so perfect. And it leads perfectly into, the other part to the question was, what do you feel like you're taking from your experience at Goldey that's giving you confidence and making you proud to be a GBC alum, but also giving you confidence into the next phase of your life?
That's a great question. I say just further developing my people skills and my communication skills. That's definitely something that I've been trying to work on the entire year, especially after becoming a resident assistant. And since becoming a resident assistant, I've been opened up to such a different world, and I've been opened up to speak to people I wouldn't normally speak to if it was under different circumstances. So just being able to completely like involve myself on campus and be able to see different people in different lights, and just being able to enjoy my experience here and talk to staff and form a relationship with them, but also talk to students, form a relationship with students, and just being able to talk to everybody on campus. Like, that's something that I'm definitely going to be taking with me from Goldey-Beacom, and that's something I'm proud about, to be a Goldey-Beacom, or I will be proud about to be a Goldey-Beacom alum. But I'm also proud as a student for just the campus culture that we've been creating here. And I do got to give a shout out to Jocelyn D. Moses. She's been creating a very strong campus on-campus culture, and she's been doing a very great job with that since I've been involved with her, and even before I got involved with her in residence life. There was stuff that she was doing, stuff that she's changing, and there's a lot of people changing a lot of different things at Goldey-Beacom and making it more accessible for students and for freshmen coming in and transfers and things like that. So I just feel like just being a part of a community that is always open to change and that is always open to bettering itself and expanding, because Goldey-Beacom is constantly expanding. We were talking about this before we got on air, but Goldey-Beacom is constantly expanding, whether it be like physical or whether it be like, on social media or anything like that. Goldey-Beacom is always growing in some form or fashion. That's just because of the people, simply. It's not because of the building, or it's not because of one person in particular, but it's because of multiple people want to see the school succeed. So that's one thing I'm super proud of, and I don't think a lot of schools can say that, because there's a lot of schools that have staff that don't want to be there. And from my experience here at Goldey-Beacom, I've seen like staff members go above and beyond to better the environment, because we are the school and we are the campus culture. So that's one thing I definitely enjoy about being a Goldey-Beacom student. And that's one thing I'm gonna miss, man. Like that's just that involvement, that feeling like you're wanted by people and feeling that community. And when you wake up in the morning, people are like smiling in your face, hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah. Like that real close knit community. That's something I'm definitely gonna miss about Goldey-Beacom. But that's something that I'm gonna take with me, and I want to develop wherever I go after this.
Yeah, absolutely. Once a bolt, always a bolt.
Exactly.
Do you have anything else? Like, you want to ask any questions? Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I just wanted, you said that you weren't like as involved as you are now, and that has kind of obviously enriched your experience, made you feel so much better, and kind of helped you to do even more things, to take on even more, like the Black Student Union. But how do you feel that it has also shaped where you're going? Like, what was your ideas about your future after college when you started, and how, if they have changed, how have they changed now?
So, again, like I said, when I first got on campus, I was planning on getting my degree and getting out. And then, so I always wanted to be an English major. And the reason I wanted to be an English major is because I love writing, and I just love further developing my ideas and putting it on a page. So I wanted to become a teacher when I first got to Goldey-Beacom. And that's something that I still want to do, but in a different capacity. So originally I wanted to become a high school teacher. My dad's a high school teacher. Shout out to him. He's teaching math. My mom's a teacher as well. She used to be an entrepreneur. She kind of still is, but she's more so of a teacher now. She's an entrepreneur, like she's moonlighting as a entrepreneur. But yes, I'd say, like, as far as like changes from being involved on campus, I really like residence life. That's something that I never thought I would say. I didn't want to be an RA when I first got on campus. I was like, that seems like a job of like, like the ops. It's the people that have ruined everyone's good time. They come in knocking on the door. I was a freshman. I used to have people come in, knock on the door. People start scrambling, running into like closets and hiding under the beds, and this stuff is like freshmen. Like I'm a freshman here. We're not supposed to be doing nothing because it's during COVID. So like people come knocking on the door, res life. I'm running under stuff, hiding, because I know I'm not supposed to be doing what I'm doing. It's just like I'm over here trying to hide. I don't want them to call my parents, stuff like that. So like just doing that, just doing dumb stuff like that. Like I was like, I could never be an RA. I don't want to go and knock on somebody's door and tell them that they can't be doing this or have to chase somebody around, because we're doing dumb stuff as freshmen. And then even as a sophomore too, there's a lot of maturity involved through my junior year. But I'd say as far as getting involved in my plans changing, I definitely want to pursue my dream of being a college professor. And then I feel like the next path that I want to take is I actually want to continue to be in residence life. So I want to continue to be able to develop relationships with people, with the students in college, but also the staff members in college as well, and make sure that created a really smooth transition for a freshman coming in to campus life, but also make sure that the stay is great for everyone who attends. So that's something that I really picked up, becoming more involved on campus, just seeing that I can actually change the culture in the position that I'm in, and seeing that I can be a driving force for positivity at the school. So that's something that's changed. So I definitely want to continue with res life, and then after that I want to become a college professor. So I want to stay in like the college environment.
That's beautiful. Awesome. And that reminds me of what Colleen said at commencement last year, which was the mark of a good college is the students that it graduates and that go out into the world and make an impact. And you've already made such a huge impact for GBC. And no matter what happens, I know that, you know, you're going to have such a good impact on the rest of the world no matter what you do. So
Appreciate
that's
that.
Really, you know, it just seems like, you know, you're involved in so many things and great leadership and great communication, and that really is it really represents. I'm an English major from GBC, but you really represent it so well, and
Thank you.
And yeah. So, but last thing before Hari gets into Polaroid of the day, where did you get that jacket?
Yes, we gotta know.
Right.
We gotta know.
So one thing that I've always been into is like fashion. So I've always been into trying to find like more like independent brands and find stuff that nobody knows about. Because what my pet peeve is having something that someone else has. So it's kind of hard to do that when you go to the mall and there's like, you know, 1,000 of one shirt or like 500 pairs of pants that they're selling at the mall. So it's just like it's hard to find stuff that's original. So I like to go on websites like eBay, or I go to the thrift store or something like that. But this particular jacket, this is from Global Peace Club. I'm not sure if they're still running, but I know they're a small independent brand out of Miami. And they're in Miami, Florida. They really do push the message of creating like a peaceful environment and kind of trying to stop. I believe their message was, I can't really remember it, but I know they're a real positive brand and they want to make a change in the world. So I like just being able to represent brands who are doing good things within the community, donating, and also like pushing positivity through their clothing line. So that's one of the brands that I really like. So this is one of their pieces. It has all the patches. And this right here, like this is my favorite patch, the Free Your Mind patch.
Yeah,
like I really,
on the brain.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
I'm really into conspiracy theories and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like, you know, like
We're gonna have you back.
if y'all want to talk conspiracy theories, I would love to do that. I kind of keep it on a little now just because like once I get going, I can't stop. So that you know what I mean? I know we on the time limit, so I don't wanna,
when the cameras go off.
That's like So I'm really into fashion. I try to switch it up as much as possible, and then that's pretty much it. But I really, I mean, wow, it's a lot to talk about. But I'll leave it there.
You've done incredible. No, it was amazing. So we're so glad to have you. And Hari closes us out each episode with one of the thousands of photos that Polaroids he's taken.
Yes. So today, is a picture of my friend Damien. He wrote, "Don't stop when you are tired. Stop when you are done."
I thought it was "Don't stop believing."
We'll take a picture of it after. But yeah.
So say the quote again.
Yes. Don't stop when you are tired. Stop when you are done.
Dope.
So I thought that it would be fitting for today for this. And I also want to say this looks like the jacket looks like a Letterman jacket. No?
It does.
Like
well, for a second it got me because for a second I thought it was
like a NASCAR jacket?
I thought it was GBC.
I
didn't really recognize the P. But as many times,
if we make one of these, that would be so like I don't know who I got to talk to, but if we were to do a specific like type of clothing line, because I want like some custom GBC.
I know.
Yes.
That's what I thought you had. And imagine with like the blue and the pink is highlighted with the gold.
That would be dope.
Let's get on it. You
know? We can do that.
I just gotta figure out who we gotta talk to for some of this stuff.
We gotta do that.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Just to close this out, we should say we do have an online store now.
Yes.
We'll put some links to that up. We do have an online store. It doesn't have that, but we'll figure that out. Yeah. Micah, you do a lot. Why don't you get on that?
That's what I'm saying. I wish I knew how to create clothes myself, but like I like buying them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I like having like being able to make drafts about them. But
Yeah.
one day I'm gonna learn how to use a sewing machine. Once I learn how to use a sewing machine,
Oh.
like it's gonna
Game
be
over.
wraps.
Yeah.
It's gonna be wraps. It's gonna be case closed, because then I'm gonna be able to make stuff and kind of do like my patchwork thing and wear like custom jackets and custom shirts. But we definitely got to get some custom Goldey-Beacom apparel, maybe even for Lightning Studios.
Yeah,
Too, you know?
hey, I love
Ooh.
that. I like it.
Oh, I am. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It works.
But Micah White, man, thank you.
Thank you.
RA, student athlete,
English
leader, English major,
President.
Yeah,
Of
all
the
these, all
BSU.
these great things, man. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming, and yeah,
Thank you for having me. I
Yep.
really appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much, man.
thanks. Until
Thank you,
next
bro.
time.